Well, hello, IDS 105 students, and welcome to week 8, module 8, the very last week of the term for your IDS 105 course. First and foremost, your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is important to us. It is our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email them at oac@snhu.edu or visit the Online Accessibility Center website. Couple of webinar reminders. As always, these webinars are considered an academic space, so always be mindful of your conduct. These webinars are not graded or required, but hopefully they have helped you learn about how to do assignments from week to week and go over and help you understand the concepts that we worked on in your IDS 105 course. Y'all, you have made it to the finish line. Woohoo! High fives! I'm so proud of you. SNHU is so proud of you, and I sure hope you're proud of yourself. So y'all, this is the last week of your IDS 105 course. You have made it to week 8, module 8. You only have one assignment this week, which is a final discussion assignment. As always, when you have discussion assignments, that initial discussion post is due by Thursday, with responding to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday or before as convenient for your schedule. I also want to put out the reminder that this is the time of the term. This is the last call. If for some reason you have fallen behind or missed assignments, you need to connect and communicate with your IDS 105 instructor to see if you can make a plan for your success, what you might still be able to turn in, if you can still turn in things for points. They can always say no, but some points are better than no points. So I always encourage students to go after your very best grade. But remember, the term does end this Sunday. So still get that initial discussion posted on Thursday, peer responses by Sunday or before, but the term ends this Sunday, and that is the last call for any assignment. So this week for your final discussion post, you're answering a couple of questions. Question 1 is, how will you use what you have learned here in IDS 105 in this course in your life beyond the classroom? So for example, would things that you've learned in this classroom maybe change how you might navigate conflict or any interpersonal relationships moving forward? I know sometimes students like to share that they just learned a lot more about diversity awareness and just people that are different from them, that are raised different from them, that hold different values from them. So just think about like what has this course really kind of taught you? And then question 2, how will you use what you have learned in this course as you continue your educational journey here at SNHU? So a couple of things to think about, like knowing what you know now from this course, how do you think that you'll approach feedback from your peers or instructors moving forward? And then how can you help build a sense of community and communicate with your peers successfully in this online space? And then 2, something to think about is, what role does that communication that we've talked about all term long play in navigating conflict? And then the last question you're answering are, what are some SNHU resources and or services here from the university that can support you on your path to success, and how can asking for help support your success in earning your degree? So just a reminder, initial discussion post due by Thursday or before, and responding to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday or before. Y'all, don't forget that writing just a couple of sentences is not going to cut it when you respond to your classmates. So make sure you give those good substantial responses, okay? What I want to do now is just kind of round out some top takeaways for your success as you continue to move forward in your SNHU classes. I feel like IDS 105 has given you kind of this like solid foundation of understanding like what it's like to be back in the collegiate classroom, like managing your time, knowing some resources that you need to use, like what are some things that worked well this term and what are some things you want to continue to put in place as you move forward, plus some tips that students have given me, like, hey, this is something I struggled with, or this is something I learned, and this is some words of advice from your other faculty too. So the first one is to never miss a Monday. Monday gets kind of a bad rap, especially if you're somebody that has the weekends off. Like the weekends go so fast and Monday's here and you're like, oh gosh, back to work, right? But I want you to kind of take a new attitude with Monday and look at it as kind of a fresh start. Maybe your week fell apart the week before, or life was just lifing. This is a new week and a new opportunity for you to put like a routine in place, or make that SNHU time, or catch up if you've fallen behind. Like look at every week. Every module is every week, right? As kind of a new opportunity to just work on yourself and go after your best in your classroom space. Another tip that's out there all the time that students always tell me is it's so important to make your SNHU time. And I see this as a faculty member too, y'all. It is so important in some way, shape, or form for you to kind of get yourself into a routine and understand and schedule out like when you're going to work on your homework. When is your SNHU time? It looks different for everybody. And don't compare yourself to anybody else. Like you have to do what works best for you. But I know a lot of students are like, whew, I learned that the hard way. And I always like to give the advice too that if you're able and if your schedule allows, if you can work on assignments kind of earlier in the week, it gives you some flexibility in case the week kind of falls behind, like apart, or it gives you kind of some opportunity so you're not as stressed or overwhelmed as you're coming into the end of the week when those assignments, especially if you have discussions, are due Thursday and then things are due on Sunday. Like if you can get things done earlier in the week, it can give you those weekend days to kind of have some flexibility and have some free time. But for some of you, you might be working those days. So you have to do what works best for your schedule. But just remember, making your SNHU time and learning how to prioritize your time is just going to help you be more successful as a student, okay? Another top takeaway is to have a backup plan. Did anybody have life happen this term? Did anybody have Wi-Fi go out? Or maybe you had to travel unexpectedly, or maybe you lost a loved one, or maybe somebody in your house got sick, or maybe you got sick. I've had students that have broken arms, broken fingers, and end up in the hospital. We've had toddlers that have broken tablets and computers. We've had natural disasters take out Wi-Fi. There's all electricity. There's all kinds of things that happen. And I guarantee you that you're not the first or the last student that this is going to happen to. We're all human. Things happen to your faculty too. But what I can tell you is it's so important to make sure you have a backup plan. So this term, if you have people that were helping you in your household, maybe watching other people in your household and it didn't really go as planned, what changes do you need to make? If you struggled with like having a consistent Wi-Fi connection or your technology, like maybe your tablet or your computer broke, like what are the things that you can do to make sure moving forward that you have that consistent technology availability? So remember, like local libraries are a hidden gem. They have computers, they have Wi-Fi, you can utilize those. Almost every single town has a local library. But also like are there friends or family members that you could utilize their Wi-Fi, or you could utilize their computer or laptop, things like that, things to think about. But the biggest thing is to make sure that every term you write down any of your course instructors' phone numbers and email addresses and your advisors. Because that way, if something happens, like you can't get online or you don't have a way to email, you can call your faculty or you can call your advisor and be like, hey, this is happening in my life right now. And they can work with you to make a plan for your success. So either you stay on track or you get caught up if you've fallen behind, okay? Don't be afraid to make those backup plans and to reach out for your success. Because when we know that something is going on as a faculty member or as an advisor, we can help put things in place and use resources to get you back on track or to keep you on track, okay? Along with making your SNHU time, it is also important to know who and what is a priority, y'all. Okay. Going to school, adding school to an already busy schedule is a lot, right? So it takes sacrifice, it takes hard work, and it's really important for you to know like what's due from day to day in your academic life or from week to week. But it's also important to know like what's a priority and who's a priority in your life right now because you're busy and your time is precious. So it's really important to align yourself as much as you can with things that are going to help support you and your goals. So know that to-do list, make a to-do list, and know who and what is a priority. You guys have heard me talk all term long about how important communication is. And I probably said it like 3 times already in the webinar, like reach out, connect with your instructor, connect with your advisor. Like communication is literally key for your success. And this doesn't have to be just if you're stuck or struggling or overwhelmed. This could be like maybe you want to connect yourself more to the university and like be a part of clubs or organizations, or maybe you want to apply to be like a peer tutor or a peer mentor or something like that. Communication is key. Reaching out, inquiring about those things, making those connections are so important for your success just as much, and it's just as important as if you're struggling or have a question or not sure on something, to reach out in those situations too. Just remember that everything is literally a click away, which is one of the coolest things about online education is that everything is a click away. If you have a question, there's a 24/7 drop-in tutoring option that's a click of a button underneath academic support. Maybe your writing mechanics need a little bit of support or you want like somebody to look over your writing assignment, academic support, written feedback, a click away. Maybe you're having a technology issue. IT, the SNHU help desk is a click away. Maybe you have a question about your assignment. Oop, quickly email to your instructor, right? So just remember that communication is key and it's so accessible for you. So don't wait and advocate for your best experience, okay? The other takeaway that a lot of students always love to tell me about is to know who supports you genuinely and keep those people close. Like, who are the people that you maybe picked up some slack around the house so you could get school stuff done, or even at work so you could get school stuff done, or if your schedule was different? Who are those people in your life that maybe looked over any of your assignments, discussions, journals, right? Drafts, like whatever it might have been. They're looking over that, giving your feedback. Maybe you had some rough days and they helped pick you up and support you and keep you motivated. Maybe they're the ones that celebrated with you. No matter who they are, think about who genuinely supports you in this journey and keep them close. Take a minute, tell them thank you, like how much you appreciate them being a part of this journey, but keep them close, because most often they're the same people that motivate us. And it's so important for us to know our why, because it keeps us going day after day. Along those same lines, just like I talked about communicating for your success, you also want to make sure that you connect for your success. And I love this quote by Stephen Covey: I am not a product of my circumstances, I'm a product of my decisions. Y'all, we all have life that happens. We all have baggage from XYZ experience or situation. But what matters is what you do with it now. So if there are things that you're like, gosh, I need to fix this going forward, whether it's you struggle with your writing, or maybe you struggled with your time management, whatever it might have been, you have resources and you're not alone here. And like, this list is not comprehensive. It's missing people, departments, but it gives you just an idea that you are absolutely not alone here at SNHU. You have so many university SNHU resources. Gosh, the academic support team has anything from webinars to academic coaches to the written feedback service to drop-in tutoring. Plus, they have like this whole arc of all kinds of information that's in there. You have the learning community for an SNHU Connect that has like webinars, and it has like quick just-in-time resources. You have the career team if you're starting to look towards those kinds of things. Your academic advisor can connect you to anybody here at the university you might need. Something technical, you have the help desk, the library. Y'all, the library, especially if you have research projects coming up or you have anything that requires citations or you're not sure on stuff, the library has so many helpful guides and so much information that's literally a click away. And students all of the time talk about how helpful it is. Plus, let's say you want to get a little bit more involved here, join a club, be part of an organization. There's SNHU Connect, and we also have SNHU Wellness to take care of our mental inside of us too. Okay. Plus, outside the classroom, social supports, those people, things, organizations in our lives that keep us moving one foot in front of the other. It's so important to remember to connect for your success and that you're never alone here at SNHU. And last, but certainly not least, is just a reminder that you 100% are worth this journey. And it might not always be pretty. There might be some rough days in there. There might be some good days and everything in between. But you are worth this journey. I tell students all the time, if getting your college degree was easy, everybody would do it. But it takes hard work. It takes your time. It takes your sacrifices. It takes putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. It's a lot, but it's worth it. And you're worth it. And we want you to remember here at SNHU that we believe in you. So you need to remember to believe in yourself. And when you get stuck or you find that little voice being like, I don't know about this, remember, like, I got this. I can do this. Because we know you got this. And we're 100% so proud of you and cheering you on as you continue to go from course to course all the way to the finish line of earning your degree. Y'all, that's it. That's all I got for week 8. Just a quick reminder, you do have that initial discussion posted by Thursday and responding to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday. Finish the term strong. Do not miss out on those discussion points, especially as you're wrapping up the term here for your IDS 105 class. Thank you. Thank you so much for attending the webinars, whether you watched one or you came live or you watched them all or being a part of the learning community. Thank you for just really showing up for yourself. Know that we are so proud of you here at SNHU. Have an amazing week 8. We are excited for you. And remember, you got this. Goodbye, y'all.